Welcome back. Today we're going to look at section 2.2 once again, and we are going to start with a review of what we learned yesterday about rate. So on your loose leaf, I would copy section 2.2, rate, and just a quick review. What is a rate? Do you remember what a rate is? So a rate is when we compare two quantities that are measured in different units and different from a ratio. Remember, a ratio is where we compared quantities of the same units. So today we're looking all at rates again. So if I were you, I would pause the video at this point, and I would try to complete this show you know on my own. In class, we would write SYK, page 57, and I would give you time to try these because this is a review from yesterday. So give those a try, please, and press play when you're ready to go over the answers. Okay, so they want us to determine the unit rate. Unit rate is the rate per one of something, so your denominator becomes a 1. So it basically just means you divide these items. So in A, we have Brandon, and he runs 150 meters in 25 seconds. So we're going to divide distance by time. Distance always goes on the top, and you have to remember that. So 150 meters divided by 25 seconds. There are 6 25s in 150, so 150 divided by 25 is 6, and 6 meters per second would be his speed, or the unit rate. So that means Brandon runs 6 meters in 1 second. So it's a unit rate because that bottom is a 1. There. B, we have Kira, and she earns $88. Remember, dollars always goes on the top, dollars over stuff. She earns $88 for working 8 hours. 88 divided by 8 is 11. So Kira earns $11 per 1 hour. Remember, you need your units in this section, so you should have 2 units. Here it's dollars and hours. Okay. And then cat food costs $9 for 5 cans. So we're going to do $9 divided by 5. This one I'm going to use my calculator. You can use a calculator at any time in this chapter. I'm going to do 9 divided by 5, and I get 1.8. So that's $1.80 per can. For 1 can. So if it was $9 for 5 cans, then I'm paying $1.80 a can. Okay, again, those are all rates. They're all unit rates because this bottom number that we don't write is a 1. Because when you divide them, that is what happens. Okay, today we're going to look at a second show you know. And again, this is a review from yesterday, so you should be able to do this on your own. So on your loose leaf, jot down SYK. This is page 58 of your textbook. And I would like you to try this question by yourself, so pause the video. And we will go through it now. So at Ed's Grocery, we have 1 brand of salsa, and it's sold in the following container sizes. So there's a smaller 425 mils, 642 mils, and 1.7 liters. Notice we have some milliliters and we have some liters. So what we did yesterday was we changed the liters to milliliters. You want them all to be the same thing. So to change to milliliters, you multiply by 1,000. So 1.7 times 1,000 would be 1,700 milliliters. So I'm going to do that before I even do anything with the question. Okay, so they're asking us which container is the best buy. So we need to find the unit price of each. Container 1, 2, 3. Okay, so for container 1, it's dollars over stuff, so $3.44 for 425 milliliters. Okay, and I'm going to divide these numbers. So 3.44 divided by 425. Okay, just like yesterday, I would keep all my zeros and then probably 3 digits after that. So 0.00809. Remember, we're talking about dollars per milliliter. Okay, so that's the price of the smallest salsa. The second container here is $6.29 per 642 milliliters. So we divide that out. $6.29 for 642 milliliters. How much is it for 1 milliliter? It is 0.00979 per milliliter. And then my third container is $15.49. It's a lot more money, but I'm getting a lot more salsa. I'm getting 1.7 liters of salsa. That's a lot of salsa. It's a lot of tacos. Make sure I use milliliters here though, because I want to compare things that are the same. I don't want one of these to be liters. So 1549 divided by 1700, 0.00911 dollars per milliliter. Okay, so remember, best buy means cheapest, means lowest number. Lowest number. So I'm going to compare 809, 979, and 911, which is my lowest value. Hopefully you're thinking this guy right here. So that would mean the 425 milliliter container of salsa is the best buy. Be clear with your answer when you do these questions. You need to show all this work. It needs to be labeled. And then you need a sentence answering the question. So it's not enough just to do these 3 mathematical statements. You need to then answer the question, which container is the best buy, and be clear, the 425 milliliter container is the best buy. Okay, the other part of this section is called cost of 100. Now, as you can see, when we're comparing these containers of salsa, these numbers are not favorable to work with because they're too small. We're not even in the cents, the hundredths place, where we're talking about cents for money. So when that happens, instead of talking about price per 1 milliliter, we like to talk about price per 100 milliliters, and then we start talking about actual, you know, they're orders of magnitude larger, the numbers are, so it makes better sense. So sometimes it's better to find the unit price based on 100 of something. So 100 milliliters or 100 grams. The good news is, to do this, it's not much harder. We're going to do the exact same thing as we just did with the salsa, but then we're going to times by 100. Okay, so in your notebook you can jot down example 1. This is not out of your book, so I would copy. If we were in class, I would give you a minute to copy this question. So please copy. You can pause your video to copy it. So if it costs $8.50 for 500 grams of hamburger, determine the unit price for 1 gram. That's what we just did. And then also determine the price for 100 grams. So, I'm going to label my work. So price for 1 gram. Okay, to find the price per 1 gram, we're going to divide these just like we did on the last slide. So 850 divided by 500 grams. Okay, is 0.017 cents, which when I'm thinking money, that's like 1.7 cents. So that's like a penny and 7/10 of another penny. Okay, so that is the price for 1 gram of hamburger. To find the price for 100 grams, so this is the new part that we haven't done already, you're going to multiply the top by 100 and the bottom by 100, and that will give us our price for 100 grams. So 0.017 times 100, 0.017 times 100 is 1.7. 1.7, remember dollars is on the top. And then on the bottom, 1 gram is going to be multiplied by 100, so we get 1 times 100 is 100. So this ground beef is $1.70 for 100 grams. That is more like what you will see in the grocery store. You would see prices like that for meat rather than per gram. They measure per 100 grams. Okay, so today your task is to complete the 2.2 worksheet on rates. I put a PDF of this in Google Classroom, so you can print that if you'd like, or it's also on these slides that follow this message, number 1 through, I believe it's 7. Yes, so you'll complete numbers 1 to 7 today. That's your task. Okay, the answer key follows it, so it's at the end of these slides. So please complete the work and then just check your answers. Okay, as always, any questions, please email me and we'll be in touch.